Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam De Guru Param Ishvaro Guratmeti Mujivet Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sabhavedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranadoshamaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. Last class we entered the verse which Father unfolds meanings, implied meanings in that story. Basically, we came to the end of this Kenopanishad with that story. But there are some unfoldments here. And we saw in that in this story there are several messages there now. And the first message, Brahman, the existence of Brahman is taught in the first two chapters of the third. Now, the nature of Nirguna Brahman, which was taught in this first two chapters, okay, is mentioned, the existence of Brahman is revealed because many people doubt the existence of Brahman and so on. Okay, the second message is difficult to comprehend Brahman in its Nirguna nature, and that is revealed as well in this story. Not the impossibility, but the difficulty in comprehending Brahman was also revealed in the story. The third message in the story is the difficulty can be removed by two conditions. And the conditions, they mean qualifications and the scriptures. Okay, you need scriptures and the qualifications, necessity of qualifications, relevant qualifications for Brahmayana. Means relevant qualification, especially internal. So basically the third message contained is that although it is difficult, it can be removed under two conditions. Under two conditions, that's the third important message, necessity of qualification. Yeah. And the fourth message is what he's going to bring later on, which is Guru Apeksha. Yeah. The necessity of a spiritual guide for gaining the knowledge of Brahman. If the third and fourth qualifications are there, we have to remember Guru must be qualified as well. If everything is in place, difficulty is not 100% removed, but is reduced. And then Atmayana or Brahmayana is possible. Okay. So the first mantra points to Brahma, is one of the wars which regularly goes on between devas in the heaven. It is a regular phenomenon. In one of the wars, Brahman or God accomplished a victory over asuras for the benefit of the devas. So there is something to be noted carefully, is that devas did not get victory over the asuras, but Brahman got victory over the asuras, because asuras are fundamentally instruments of God. But the asuras, they felt we got the victory, so therefore the glory come to us. No? So we have seen that the problem of pride and arrogance and vanity is it showed up as a huge obstacle in the mind of these vedatas, okay, devatas, because they won the battle with the asuras, a very big battle, you know. So the asuras had this problem because they forgot that they are just instruments. So they forgot about Bhagwan's grace. Therefore, Brahman won a victory, not the devatas. So what is the problem? Devas did not recognize the grace of God as the fundamental reason for them to win this battle. They took the credits upon themselves. They forgot that grace must be, although extremely invisible, it's always there in everything we do. Devas did not recognize the grace of the Lord and became arrogant. Jesus called gravaha. Grava means to say a huge problem, a huge obstacle. So preventing the devatas to get atmayana. That's why Bhagwan has to regularly give this kind of problem. Kutu. He has rings in all his 5 fingers, and he's very ready. So it's kutu. I tried to do some research. There are several meanings around this word. I don't know if it's Tamil or Sanskrit, but it's something teaching someone a lesson. You know, I'm going to hit you so that you learn a certain lesson. So this kutu, you should get it from a hand with rings on it. That is saying a punch, which is very painful, isn't it? Something like that, huh?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So regularly, Ishvara does that for all proud people, arrogant people, vain people. Yeah? Bhagwan hits them. So devas were glorifying themselves when they got victory, claimed that we did this and that. Okay. If you split the samadhi, the sandhi, you should be read to the Devad. So he, in this passage here, he's going to be teaching Sanskrit rather than teaching Vedanta, okay? And he's going to say, so you guys not interested in, you guys not Sanskrit students, don't be irritable. It's just a little bit only, a little bit of it. So what is this problem that he's mentioning through this phrase, Ashmakam eva ya ayam viyayaha? It's just raising one's chest and claim victory belongs to us, victory belongs to me. So this is the problem. So it was like proper, genuine perspective, which would include the grace of the Lord and so on. Thus, the devas had a kind of problem, a manitvam problem, which is the first obstacle to spiritual growth. It's the first obstacle, and the first qualification we need to develop is the opposite of this obstacle, which is pride and arrogance. We need humility, humbleness as the first pre-qualification. Yeah? So humility is the first qualification, the first value. One of the methods of developing this humility is by doing namaskara regularly. So Swami, he presents a nice concept, which is the Indian culture. They have a way to salute one another with namaskara, you know? And Swami says that if you do that all the time, it somehow helps you to develop humility, okay? If you do that to the elders, but fundamentally to most everyone, respect everybody. If we respect everybody, people are going to appreciate it so much because everybody is suffering from lack of respect for others or disrespect from others, you know. And it's my experience is that most people appreciate me because I give them the respect that somehow they lost to themselves. So there is a Manu scripture that says that the one who practices doing namaskara to all beings, including elders, will develop all the virtues mentioned in the Shastra. So what is the opposite of humility and humbleness? Is arrogance and pride. Okay, so that's the situation. So we move to what he calls mantra 2 of the 3rd chapter, which is Brahman to be sure understood it all. Brahman to be sure understood it all and appeared before them, but they did not know who that adorable spirit was. So this is the 2nd chapter that we already covered in the anticipation of the story, you know, presented by Swan. Prelude, you'd say prelude? And then he says, so that means that Tat Brahman, Saguna Brahman, Ishwara or Saguna Brahman, okay? When this verse says that Brahman, to be sure, understood it all and appeared before them, but they did not know. So if Brahman appears before anyone, it's just Saguna Brahman, of course. So it says that Saguna Brahman or Ishwara, our favorite entity or deity. Okay. He just says, make sure that you understood it refers to Saguna Brahman or Mr. Ishwara, the Lord. This thought pattern of the arrogant devas, proud devas, so on, was immediately noticed by Ishwara or Saguna Brahman or Bhagwan. The moment Bhagwan knows, he decides to work on the devatas, to reform the devatas by teaching them appropriate lesson. Because with regard to Asuras, the Asuras, this is interesting, he says, with regard to the Asuras, so there's nothing we can do about them. They are lost souls, no? They are gone cases. They are beyond reformation. They are just lost. They cannot listen. They sold their soul, so to speak, you know. So neither they know nor they are available for other instructions. Therefore, Bhagwan is helpless in regards to the Asuras. Even the omnipotent Ishwara will be made helpless before these kind of people. You know, and we know that. They defy God. And they reject God, defy God. But devas being sattvic, they are available for reformation. Very nice. So devas, the devas, they have enough punyan. They have enough sainthood, sainthood, or or clarity, or knowledge. They don't have atmiyana, but they have dharmayana. To have dharmayana, you need to be very sattvic to discriminate dharma from adharma. So the devatas, they were available for reformation, but not the asuras. So Bhagwan decided to appear in front of the devatas in an extraordinary, rare, brilliant form, which the Upanishad names as yakasha. Natureza yakasha. Yaksha means shining entity, the shining light. In Shiva, Panka Shara Stotram, in one verse, Yagnashavarova is one reading, another is entities which shine with light. From where do we get this light? Neo Kenopanishad Sursha, thus Yakasha means adorable form, brilliant form, and we must worship that. If you want to be reformed or purified from those impurities such as pride and arrogance. Bhagwan appeared in this brilliant form and appeared in such a position, was not much close, neither far away. If it was too far, they will not see it properly. If it was too near, it would maybe burn their eyes, and they will not see it clearly. So it's just a commentary which is not much relevant. Naturally, the attention of the devas was turned towards this yakasha entity, shining entity. But when all of them looked, what happened? And then he comes about teaching more Sanskrit. When they looked, they could not identify what was that light, what was the entity. They were very surprised because they thought that they were all-knowing. They thought they were almost like totally omniscient. They are highly qualified, highly purified. That's why they do not have to go through Gurukula Vasana without any education. That's why we should be born there. So he's mentioning something regards to a certain loka, with Deva loka, which is different from Brahma loka. So the scripture says that the devas, they are not self-realized, but they live in certain lokas, and they have so much sattva guna that they shine. Sattva guna is somehow shine as a huge reflection of consciousness, but not necessarily that reflection produce self-knowledge. So they do not need to go to Gurukula. They went direct to Devaloka. And everybody wish to be born there because they don't need to go through this entire process of guru disciple ashram, Gurukula. So in the Indian structure of the society, so after the children are grown and this and that, and then you have to arrange everything, and then you go to the Gurukula to finish your life for that purpose. So, but if you are born in a Devaloka, you don't have these problems of finding. Gaining admission is a problem, Swamiji says here, Gaining admission in these gurukulas here, in this physical material dimension of ours, it's complicated. It's a headache, he says. You have to arrange with family, marriage, and so on. You have to have a certain plan. Even before your children are born, you you have to arrange everything so that you can withdraw to finish your life in one of these gurukulas. Right at the time of entry, they are all born youths and almost omniscient. So if you are born there and then you are born useful and almost omniscient, there is no need to go through a process of relationship with the guru in which you learn, self-knowledge or dharma knowledge. Therefore, there is nothing they do not know, almost nothing they do not know. And when they saw this deity, which was Ishvara, they could not identify that. What is there? They were thinking. They wondered for a little bit. Everything we say blessed, but Jesus is really a blessed yakasha. And then what happened? So the Upanishad stories are very short with lots of dots and dashes in between, which you have to fill up. Whereas in the Puranas, one story will run for several pages or chapters with hundreds or thousands of verses. Here, they just present the headlines of the story. What is the difference? This is the difference between Upanishads, Vedas, and Purana. The Upanishad moves very fast with these Puranic stories. But the Puranas, by definition, they are there to enjoy these stories. So the next mantra they just say that they need to send someone there. They decide to send. Why it's not coming? Okay. They decide to send fire, agni deva, to understand what kind of entity is this one. And Brahman asked him, who are you? Before they could ask Brahman, Saguna Brahmana Vishwara, who are you? So we have seen this story. So here there is a passage that says that Indra had decided to send before Agni Deva, before anybody else. And we have seen in the words of Swami Paramarthananda that Agni Deva is the best possible messenger of all devas. The gods or the king of among the messengers, no? And he's always in front, okay? He's always in front representing his class. Even receiving obligations through these rituals for the devas, who Agni comes, representing all the devas. The Agni, the fire, is there to receive the offerings from the devotees. So Agni is the best divine courier service. Therefore, naturally, he knows everything. He's in between. He's passing on everything. Every knowledge passed by him. And when I read this morning, I said, let me see if Swami says some more in regards to this. Because Agni is the middle deity, let's say. He's a messenger, because a messenger is always in between two parts, the sender of the message and someone receiving. And Agni Deva is the one in between, 5 fundamental elements, and Agni The fire is in between. We have space and air, and then after the fire, we have water and earth. So to pamper, just to exaggerate his glory, instead of simply saying, you go, they address him with a title, you know. So, and then more Sanskrit explanation here. What's the meaning of this title they gave to him to inflate his ego? Everything born in the creation, everything that's created by God, in short, everything is known by Yanachi. Yanachi was the title given to him, right? Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Jatavida
Yeah, that
is the title.
Yeah, something like on those lines. And then he kept saying about the rule of Sanskrit study. You may identify what did Agni do? I mean, he was already proud before he went because he was chosen to go there to find things out. And then they gave him a special title, and then that made him even more proud. He says, of course, I'm going to get the job done. I have done everything for you. Yeah. But this is a very simple work. Therefore, so be it. I will do it very quickly and then report to you again. And then what happened? With contrast with the two first chapters, there one mantra takes one class, and then he says that the first chapters, we had a few verses, and every verse we need to break down because they were really packed with Yin Yoga. And this verse, as opposed to the verse of the first and second chapter, they don't have much Upanishadic message, Yin Yoga message, self-knowledge message. It's more like Puranic stories. And then he says that in the third chapter we're gonna run through this verse very quickly. Not as quickly as I'm trying to do here, because he was taking the opportunity to teach Sanskrit as well. And then he carries on teaching more Sanskrit here. So bottom line, Agni approached that Yakasha, and toward the Yaksha, and then he said, again, I'm going to be irritating my non-Sanskrit students, so take it easy. So after reaching that deity Yakasha, so Agni Deva wants to take a minute just to gasp his breath. He has walked a long distance, and therefore he wants to a moment to get back to himself and ask. Before he could ask, Yakasha Deva said to him, who are you, as we know? Who you think you are? So Yakshideva punched him right away before he could try to express his arrogance. Inside, he was saying, you don't know me, I'm the most powerful of all the gods, I'm the messenger, I know everything, and so on. I'm a well-known, very famous Agni devata. So let's remember that all the devas glorify me, he says. Now, all the devas glorify me Agni Deva. The biggest and old Vedas called Rig Veda begins with the word Agni, and so on. Vedas talk about me again and again. I'm very popular. So well known Agni, Aham Asmi, eu sou this famous Agni Deva. Yeah. And then he got some titles, all to say that he really got there with a big ego. And then now in the next verse, which is the fifth, is a richer verse, which brings about the words of yak.a. They said to Agni, oh Agni, find out. Now it was still the instructions he were getting to go and see that this great spirit. He said, no problem. And then he said, who are you? I am Agni. I'm also called Jataveda. And then Ishvara, or Saguna Brahman, said, what is your power? What can you do? Why you're so proud? Who is this you who are so famous? And the fire replied, I'm powerful, I can burn everything. Whatever there is on earth, on the universe, I can burn. Burn this, he said, burn this leaf, this dry, it was dry leaf. What was that?
Yeah, it was a dry piece of grass.
Yeah, a dry piece of grass, a dry grass. Okay. So let me go about teaching Sanskrit here. And then he brings about some analogies with the fire and how it can burn everything. So all these things are absolutely relevant for anyone who is not a Sanskrit student. Try to understand the Sanskrit behind the description of this story. Swami says, recently we had a class on Jayanteya Gita. It's a different Gita that I have no clue. There it talks about pralaya. During pralaya, how the panchabhutans, those elements, becomes gradually powerful. And then one of the statements in that text is about the fiery nature of the fire. The fire will be in the patala loka. The flames and the heat will be felt in loka. Loka, and all, imagine, all that you need to remember here is this. Then he talks about the song. Gave birth to King Bharata, and those in whose honor India is still called Bharata today. This couple also had 9 other sons called who instructed Bhagavata Dhamma, the Dhamma of devotional service to King Nimi. This episode is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, and so on. Therefore, I can burn everything down to ash, said Agni. Yaksha listened all of that, and then we know what it said. So please burn this leaf, this dry leaf. And as we know, he could not, he failed, and he had to go back to Indra later on. So blade of grass, a blade of dry grass. So let's see what is in here, a little bit more relevant, which we could find relevant. So in Jayantaya Gita, one thought I am remembering in that text, which occurs in Bhagavatam, how pralaya comes about and how Panchabhutas become so powerful and unstoppable. Of course, not all the Panchabhutas. Akasha cannot do anything. Akasha is the only element that cannot cause anything. The other four elements, can bring great destruction. The air can bring destruction by drying everything, the waters, the fire, and the earth can produce earthquakes and devour entire civilizations and so on. So that thought came. You know why Swami says, because of rains in monsoon and dry season. Because we experienced this fire and this dry season in Chennai big time. The raindrops will be so seldom. No, the raindrops will be so thick, and Bhagavan talks about the size of raindrops. He was talking about the monsoon, powerful, very violent monsoons. He talked about raindrops the size of a trunk of an elephant. Of course, I'm exaggerating, whatever it is the idea, so powerful rains. Not for 3 days or 5 days. I think for decades or for centuries, this thing is referred to in the scriptures. The rains will fall with that intensity until everything is submerged. Then the entire surface of the planet will be absorbed into water. The entire water will be absorbed in fire. Fire will be absorbed into air, and air will be absorbed into space. So it's the way that during the end of times, pralaya, so the elements, they unfold. During creation, it's just like a Shrishti manifestation. It goes from one subtle to denser, and then in pralaya, the other way, reverse from for the more dense, they just resolve back into the previous subtler element. And thus, pralaya process, that is a synod. So this is the power of agni. It's going to swallow even the earth and the water. And then this fire resolves itself back into air. Okay. So Brahman presents this blade of dry grass, and the guy could not, this devata could not, he felt humiliated. Yeah? Agni Deva was humiliated and went back, saying like, so I failed. Okay. Before Agni approached the blade of grass and attempted to burn it and failed. In Mahabharata, the story of Bhima's Garba come. When Bhima is in the forest, Anjaneya, Bhima's brother, wants to remove Bhima's garb because they were going to have Mahabharata. God's grace is required for that, and therefore, I can't really read this and understand. I don't know the Purana and I don't know Sanskrit here. Why you stretch your tail, old one? He used all kinds of words. He's short-tempered because of his power. Therefore, he asked to remove the tail. So, Puranas and more Puranas, we see Puranas. You have to be brought up in the Indian Vedic culture to have familiarity with these things. But your tail will get destroyed, then this Anjaneya, the story is very elaborate, said Anjaneya asked, why my tails be destroyed? Okay. Swami goes into lyrical portions. Okay, this is I can't relate to any of this. I'm gonna read it better because I'm gonna call these texts over for us, or we just do what we're doing, what I'm doing today here, to see if we find anything which could be relevant to self-inquiry and self-knowledge. Because I don't know these Puranas, never had any, I don't have any inclination to want to know, and much less Sanskrit.
No, it's very difficult if you don't know the Puranas. Like he says in the next paragraph, he says that he was brought up on them when he was young. They got them every day. So, you know, like you say, it's a cultural thing for them.
Good. As I said in the last class, clean board after so much show, all the preparation, the exercise working for this side. Therefore, batsman. Okay. I was not able to know who is this Yakasha. And the Vedantic message is Tattva Bodha, we talk about Ajistana, devata for every organ. What is the substratum? What is the subtle nature of every one of these five sense organs? The celestial represent our organs. Agni Devata is the presiding deity for what? The organ of vision, as I remember. Once in a while, it's good we go back to Tattva Bodha to remember that the organ of vision was a byproduct of agni. All the devatas are karma hindrance. So they are considered to be devatas. When the story says that devatas could not understand who is this Yakasha, we have to go to the first chapter. All the sense organs cannot see God. Very nice. Huh? Now it's a good connection. So the sense organs can never understand God. Therefore, all the devatas will never understand Nirguna Brahman because it is beyond the mind and the sense or five sense. Bhagwan can never be known by human instruments of knowledge, means sensorial knowledge and inference made by the mind. That is the main Vedantic message. And how are we going to know? We need qualifications, we need the scripture, we need some humility, humbleness, and then discipline, guru, and so on. Without, and then in the end, we need Bhagwan's grace. Without each, Agni cannot be Agni without the grace of God, because God is the essence of everything. Bhagwan is the essence of Agni. Without Bhagwan's grace, Agni cannot do anything. As we know, Bhagwan is the essence of everything. The entire Vibhuti Yoga of Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, is an expansion of Kenopanishad's 3rd chapter. Then what happened? Agni out. Who is the next batsman? Is going to be Mr. Vayu. Vayu is even more arrogant, more proud as well. It feels superior to Agni because it's sattva. Because of one sastric reason. Why is this the scripture reason for the superiority of air? Because the air is the karana and the agni is kariya. So fire is a byproduct, an effect of air. So therefore, air being sattva, being cause, and fire an effect, it gives the air a sense of superiority. Karanam being the father, the parent, is supposed to be superior. As we know, the karana is always present in the kariya, but not the other way around. Parents are supposed to be superior. The children not always agree with that. And so I will say something very nice here. Look at that. He says, the proud is there with the air. And then he says, that's why we say this person has such an air. The word air always moves on the clouds, in the ninth clouds, therefore it's always arrogant. The devatas addressed this vayu devata. He does some Sanskrit explanation here, grammar. Okay. What did this Vayu Devata think? What was his reaction? What Agni cannot do, I will do for sure. Then what happened? That we will see in the next class. It's like a 5-day test match. He's going to send the 5 elements. And we see. Then Swami starts doing the recap of the previous hour. He reminds us of the battle. You have to remember that these recaps are important since a lot of these texts he teaches once a week only. But we have just seen the context, the story. Agni went and felt humiliated. It's an extraordinary brilliance of Yakasha. He has never seen, he has never known such a thing. The second message we get, Agni is not able to burn this, not even a great grades of glass. Here is, I forgot. In short, but Brahman is the substratum, the essence of everything. Therefore, the existence of Brahman can never be doubt. Doubt in Brahman is doubt the existence of everything, gold holding several forms. Do not cancel the gold. How foolish it appears. Doubting the existence of the substratum by which something appears as a namarupa is removing or doubting its very nature, true nature of the namarupa. So, and then he reminds of a Hindi poem which Dayananda loves and quotes. Oh, this I like when he talks on these inputs, these contributions of Dayananda. In fact, there is a Hindu poem Dayananda quotes often. I have got only heard knowledge. I'm not very good in Hindi. Therefore, I might be pronouncing wrongly. But the poem is this. The wave went in search of water, questioned the existence of water, and the claws went in search of fiber. Or thread, questioned the existence of thread. Jiva went in search of Brahman, questioned the existence of Brahman. All these three are fools. The first one is a great fool, such as the wave. The second one is a greater fool. The greatest among all the fools is the Jiva, Jivatma, human Jiva. The greatest among all the fools. The atheists challenge the existence of God according to our scriptures. Every atheist deserves this special award. Greatest fools. This award lesson, what is that? The greatest among all the fools. If anyone here in the class knows Hindi and knows this poet, please correct me if I'm wrong. Write in a paper and give it to me later on. I can quote it in the future class. But I have conveyed the idea. Seeking Brahman is the most foolish thing because it is my very essential nature. On the other hand, we say that seeking Brahman is the highest of all pursuits, human pursuits in human life. Meaning to say, we are fools. First, we are fooled by the concept that I'm going to search apparent objects in this apparent mithya reality as if they are real and they convey happiness and peace. And then later on, I hear about Brahman as the only source of happiness and peace. And then I search for Brahman. We are fooled for as far as we keep searching Brahman as something out there, until I understand that it is my very intrinsic, essential nature. So we are fools all through, but searching for a Brahman out there is a better foolishness, let's say. Although it's being presented as the greatest all fools, because it's the most absurd thing possible to look for something in the wrong place, right? You look for such a mithya. Believing Satya is an object of knowledge. The first message is the pride is the biggest and the foremost obstacle. The first message, Brahman is difficult to be known. And then the second message is pride is the big obstacle. And what is the third message? You cannot nobody can know Brahman objectively because Brahman is not an object of knowledge. The extended message is every devata represents the instrument of knowledge. And when devata says, I cannot know Brahman, the Vedantic message, Brahman, sarva, prama.a. So not an object of instrument, but it's very interesting. It makes me tired to read all of this on the spot like that. We leave it for more for tomorrow. We probably conclude this tomorrow. And but there is some passage here. The most intriguing aspect of this story is the fact that these supposed entity or deities, which have so much sattva guna, they have so much knowledge in regards to dharma and dharma. They are not self-realized. Yeah, they are not self-realized. They have so much sattva guna at their disposal, but somehow something is missing. Yeah, which I often present as introspection, meaning to say, try to understand something in regards to your very nature, rather than trying to know everything God may know, Saguna God may know. So those deities, they are not all knowing as Bhagwan or Ishwara, Saguna Brahman, Saguna Ishwara himself or herself, but they are almost omniscient, as Swamiji said. They have so much knowledge. They have so much reflected consciousness working for them, but still they are holding this knowledge in regards to this mithya order of reality. And the laws and principles holding this all together. And sometimes they become proud and arrogant, and then Ishvara has to come and then correct them. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. It shows the limitation of Deva Loka, because in Deva Loka they didn't need a guru and they didn't need a guru kulam and all that, and they've got all this sattvic quality, and yet they haven't got the knowledge. Whereas here we need a guru and we get the knowledge.
Yeah.
So even though it's a higher loka, it's definitely got limitation there.
Yeah, because Swamiji was pointing out to us the other day is that you can get this knowledge here or in Brahmaloka only, not in Devaloka. So there you're going to go enjoy your purity, but you're still self-ignorant. You know so much about mithya. But, okay. Okay, I think we're gonna... The fourth chapter, I don't even know what to expect from the fourth chapter, but it's more of the same, I guess. Okay. We are not in a hurry.
I think it's a continuation.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm gonna read it more carefully and try to see some pairs there, some small condensations of knowledge there in the middle of these Puranic stories. Here and there.
Yeah.
All other knowledge, apara vidya, cannot make this transformation, the Bhagavad Gita. So here and there, he's going to say something beautiful. Words over time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamadachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you, my friends. Namaste. We meet again tomorrow.
Thanks, Alinda.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay.